Right. So, as you guys know, drone delivery and drone as a space is booming right now as a different industry. There are like hundreds of defense drone companies, hundreds of delivery drone companies. Like it's basically like a congested market. None of them are actually solving the real problem, which is divided into two. One is you can't actually fly safely. I mean, with the regulations and all in India, especially, you can't really fly the drones wherever you want, even if you have the DGCA permission, let alone if you don't have the DGCA permission, it's going to take a lot more time. So the problem is one, the regulations, and the regulations are kind of a hassle. So you don't really do much with the regulations. You just get a DGCA approved partner and then build them the drone, and then you can get this out of the way. So the second main problem is drones can't deliver directly to the high-rise buildings, right? So there's never been a time where a drone is going to a high-rise building and delivering it. So what currently the guys are doing is one, for the regulation part, they're just using human pilots to just abide the regulations and still do the deliveries because they feel that having a human pilot is going to be safer way to deliver the product. And for the second main problem, what these guys, the Sky Air actually is the biggest company in India who is doing the drone delivery space. I'm sure you heard of them. So what the Sky Air guys are doing is quite simple. They head the drone, they go to that particular location. They have something called the Sky Pods. So this is a Sky Pod, which basically is just like a locker system where the order just comes down from the drone and it enters the Sky Pod, and then a human comes there and opens the locker and takes the package and then delivers it to the customer. So this entire idea of autonomy is being failed right here. So you're depending on humans for the pilots as well as the delivery. So drones, I don't even know why the companies are depending on drones. You can just hire a delivery guy to do the same delivery and it's going to cost you less because the drone economics is quite high right now. So at least what we think is we are going to solve this problem specifically first. Because regulations everyone are solving. If you have a bunch of money and you have a bunch of connections and you do the technology good, it's going to be solved anyway. So this problem no one is actually solving in the world. So our solution is actually the first in the world. In a nutshell, what we are basically doing is the same thing. We go directly above the apartment or any high-rise complex or any particular single household, etc. And then a smaller drone. This is actually called the hugger in this particular case. It gets lowered from the bigger drone and it lands directly on the smart pad. So it navigates itself completely autonomously without any pilot intervention. It goes there, lands on the smart pad, and then locks itself. So this is locked here. So the string between the drone and the hugger creates a tension, right? So
Mm.
we basically deliver the package using a pulley mechanism, which is controlled with a mechanical hook, and which helps. If gravity just pulls it too hard, it just controls the speed of the package being delivered. So this is what we are working with. So this is the hugger mechanism. As you guys can see, there is a small attachment hook, and obviously, this is not the smart pad. We just drew it as a diagram. So the smart pad is going to be here. Smart pad doesn't have any other electronic equipment. You don't need to charge it. We will be providing the smart pad for free of cost to any customer because it's so cheap. It only has a small tracking beacon which lets the drone actually visualize where the smart pad is and helps it autonomously hook onto it.
Oh.
So, in a nutshell, this is the product. So, it's basically like a smaller drone with an arm, and also it has a navigation system, a UWB beacon, and all.
Mm.
So, it's going to get lowered from the bigger drone. So, this is the big drone, and this is where the hugger actually places. So, this comes down and it moves forward, and it attaches to the smart pad wherever it is. And then the package just slides down from the tether that is connected. So that's exactly what this is. We've got three patent pendings on the entire design and concept, the delivery mechanism, and the smart pad as well as the pulley system. So we are awaiting for the final patents. So that is the whole product. Now coming back to the business plan. So in any drone ecosystem, there are basically like three businesses. It's either medical, food and grocery, and defense, right? So coming to medical, because medical, the reason why we have chosen to go with medical is quite simple. You just get the DGCA permissions faster, and the government actually takes more interest in your startup than a startup just flying out there delivering groceries. So every single drone company out there, be it Tech Eagle, be it what do you call the Sky Air and be it other companies, they've started with the medical space. Not because it's going to make them some money, but it simply allows the government to look at their startup and say, okay, the startup is good, just give them whatever the permissions they need. And after that, they switch to the grocery, and after that, they go to the defense. So that's how it works. So we've got an EOI, expression of interest, from the managing director of MedQuest Diagnostics. So this has 10 branches across 2 states in South India. So what we have partnered up with them to actually do once the product is ready, once the final product is ready, is deliver between MedQuest to MedQuest. So there are like 8 units in Hyderabad, their diagnostic center between MedQuest and MedQuest, and between the MedQuest and the hospitals they are in contact with, and between MedQuest and the homes which they are delivering the diagnostic reports to. So if you have a bag of blood that you need to deliver to MedQuest for the diagnostic report, you can just call our drone and then it'll pick it up and it'll just fly over to the MedQuest using this technology. It just additionally just saves the time and efforts to directly deliver it to the balcony or the windows or any rooftop, basically immediately. So you don't need a third person to actually get to the product by hand and go to the 16th floor using an elevator and do all sort of things. So that's where we're at. So that
Yeah.
is a brief about the project,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. Let me ask some questions which are
For
in.
sure.